Previously on Pokémon Science and Magic. Professor Salax, one of the region's Pokémon professors, introduced us to the Cryoto region and recruited us to be a part of his Pokémon Guild. Special communities of Pokémon trainers that dedicate themselves to keep their local areas, as well as the region as a whole, safe, and accept jobs to help out whenever and wherever they can. Basically, think Wizards Guilds from Fairy Tail, only instead of magic users, it's Pokémon. While getting our guild licenses, not only did we get our first Pokémon, but we were introduced to our two rivals, Rachel and Loki. And after stopping by at the professor's less than sanitary laboratory, we were introduced to Loki's older brother and the strongest member of the guild, Thor. Now our journey continues as we adventure to Columbisae City in order to look for more jobs to improve our rank, as well as catch some new Pokémon. However, something we will learn very shortly is that our journey will not be as simple as that. At long last, we're
on the road again,
as Route 2 takes us on a small incline to the instantly connected Route 3. Hope you brought some of your hiking equipment because it's a bit of a steep climb. Here you can find another handful of trainers and maybe even a side quest or two, as well as some new Pokémon which we have not yet encountered. Wrong, it isn't a spider, it's a Jumpiter. Jumpiter is the spring bug Pokémon. Although it's no bigger than a Joltik, that doesn't mean that Jumpiter isn't to be messed with. Its legs have a special mechanism that allow them to literally act like springs. With these special legs, Jumpiter can leap massive distances with ease, easily able to jump up to 100 feet. In fact, there's actually a going nursery rhyme in the Cryoto region that jokes around about Jumpiter's ridiculous jumping power. And it goes as follows. Once a Jumpiter would face a smug old Cinorace. But that poor old bunny was left in a hurry 'cause Jumpiter jumped to outer space. Anyway, it puts that jumping power to good use through its new special ability, Bug Bullet, which boosts the power of jumping-based moves, which this Pokémon obviously learns a lot of, such as Lunge, Bounce, as well as a new signature move it gets called Arachnobullet, which is essentially a bug-type version of Bounce. Another bonus that this special ability gives Jumpiter is that it also gains the ability to avoid the whole must wait an extra turn in order to use said jumping moves like Bounce or the previously mentioned signature move. Moving on to another Pokémon you can find here, we have this region's neighboring dog Pokémon, Huscout, the search dog Pokémon. Huscout are not only well known for their cuteness, but their remarkable dedication and perseverance to the cold environments of the region, or to whatever work they are assigned to. Not only do they possess a remarkable amount of pulling power for their size, capable of shifting half a ton, but they are often used to help carry cargo and people in remarkably rough territories, normally places where vehicles and cars and all that normally can't go. And, to top it all off, it too has a new special ability, Frigid Body. At worst, this new special ability allows Huscout to lower the speed of any Pokémon that makes contact with it. But at best, it has a remarkably rare chance of freezing the opponent on contact. That's pretty much it for this route. However, if these two don't really please you, don't worry. There still are quite a few other Pokémon that we can find on this route, like Chipbug, Whirlisacoon, Starly, Growlithe, Sewaddle, Lemonboo, Valerie, Lillipup, Poochyena, and Crytonium Centret. However, if even these aren't enough to please you, we are coming up to Route 3, which is a much more colder and rugged area. So, perhaps it could be a good opportunity to try and catch some Ice-type Pokémon. And trust me, you'll be seeing a lot of those in this region. Well, I have one word for Route 3, and that's cold. Once you have reached Route 2's peak, you will find a snowy forest, complete with a bridge that will take you to the downhill incline to reach Columbisae City. On top of that, you can also find a few caves here which you can explore. Some of them you can't explore in at the moment. In fact, we're going to be saving the caves for another time, but for the time being, you can find a fair amount of new Pokémon which you have not yet encountered here too. In fact, let's meet one of them. Looks like we have another regional variant on our hands. This is Crytonium Baneri, the Snow Bunny Pokémon. Baneri started appearing like this since being introduced to the Cryoto region a few years back. They evolved this more cold-adapted form to help them cope. In fact, it appears to have adapted so well to the cold, it now embraces it and is pretty much dependent on it. So much so that during the warmer times in the climate that they inhabit, not only will they start to migrate to colder areas, but some will even burrow themselves underground and hibernate for both spring and summer to maintain their cold. Besides this cutie, you can also find a few other Pokémon that you haven't encountered yet on this route. Dig deep enough and you'll find Huscout, Lemonboo, Snorunt, Snom, Roggenrola, Roly-Coly, Vulpix, the Alolan version, as well as Pinecone. And believe me, these are only a taste of some of the many ice types that you'll find throughout this region. Expect to see a lot of these lads as you... Wait, hold on a minute. Is that Rachel over there? Who's that she's talking to? You horrible man! Do you have no shame? Give back those armor fragments that you stole from Professor Salix. Sorry, little Miss Pretty, but do you know how much these armor fragments would pay on the black market? Not to mention the load that I'm getting for them would be enough to pay for over 100 Ultra Balls. Besides, what's a little princess like yourself gonna do about it? I'll have you know that I'm a member of the Pokepals Guild, and nobody messes with the belongings of our great guild master. I may be a pretty face, but I'm no pushover, and I'll prove it to you right now. Sheesh, looks like it's serious. Guess we better go over there and give her a hand, or... Well, looky what we have here. A little swinub that believes he can stick his nose in other people's business? Well, that isn't happening, pal. You're interfering with a special job by Team Ragnarok, and we ain't giving it up. Not without a fight, that is. Time to teach you a lesson. Go, Beedrill! Oh, so the little kid thinks he's all tough now because he beat one of my Pokémon. Yeah, just keep telling yourself that. Go, Petrabat! Well, if there's one good thing these grunts actually have done, it's introduce us to a new Pokémon. Petrabat is the stress Pokémon, so named due to their remarkable amount of anxiety. It takes both a kind and cunning trainer to bring them out of their dark caves, which they call home. However, what they're well known for is their unique, ghostly skin on their wings. In fact, if those fragile wings that it has are ripped, it will literally become so stressed, it will drop to the ground instantly. What? How did you do that? Oh dear. Just as I figured. Nothing but a pretty face. Why they ever hired someone like you to be a part of a Pokémon guild, I'll never know. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, now I know why they hired you. They just wanted a lovely little flower just so the public would give them a good reputation. Well, you may be a flower, but we're the survivor under it. And since having a smile on your face is all you're good for, I'm willing to show you a little bit of mercy. Get in Team Ragnarok's way again and see what happens. Oh my goodness. Wait, hold on. Player? What are you doing here? Going to Columbisae City, you say? Well, regardless of such, I'm glad that you showed up while you did. Just one of those grunts was enough to mop the floor with me. I can't even imagine what two of them would have done. They're a part of Team Ragnarok. They're a Pokemon guild like us, only they'll accept any job, including some illegal ones that Pokemon guilds aren't allowed to do. Things like stealing Pokemon from the wild or from other trainers, or in this case, stealing the belongings of other people. They normally get hired by the illegal type of people, who give them a ton of money for their efforts. I normally wouldn't be bold enough to take them on my own, but they stole some of the professor's belongings, some of the armor fragments that he was supposed to study, not to mention some of his research. The poor man was heartbroken when he found his house was broken into. Not to mention he already gave me this job. I had to do something. But I guess I just wasn't enough. Well, the professor told me that he'll try to get Thor to track them down. I hope that he can actually find them. I just wish I could make it up to you somehow. You know, for being so useless. Well, if you want to get to Columbisae City, it's just over there. Just cross the bridge and you'll reach the downward incline. It'll take you to the city from there. I'm sorry, I wish I could come with you, but I have to head back to the guild. Be careful if you ever run into Team Ragnarok again. They may have taken pity on me, but I doubt that they'll do the same for you. Well, here we are at last. Columbisae City is a much bigger place than Robintown, obviously. And here you can find a lot more side quests than you can in Robintown. But you know these cities, they're not just about the side quests, they're also about the sights. And while you're here in Columbisae City, you can check out the remarkably large lake that the town is built near. And on the edge of that lake, you can find the Columbisae Museum, where you can learn about the history of the Cryoto region, as well as accept a few other side quests. So, what do you say we check that place out while we're here? Nothing like a good old-fashioned history lesson, am I right? Well, while we're here, not only can we look at some of the exhibits, but there are actually a handful of side quests we can do. Some of which involve catching a mischievous little runt who's causing trouble throughout the museum, or capturing a rock-type Pokémon for one of the scientists there to study. We can also find plenty of nods and relics to the region's past, as well as some fossil Pokémon, completely fossilized. And perhaps if we find ourselves some fossils, we can bring them back here to be resurrected in the future. But for now, let's keep looking around, shall we? I wonder what this section of the museum is. It says here that this section is dedicated to something called the Krytonium War. I wonder what that is. Let's take a look at it. Long ago, over 1,000 years in the past, the Cryoto region was a much different place from what it is now. It was said to be a much more chaotic place, filled to the brim with conquerors. Conquerors that satisfied their boredom through vandalizing other regions. However, one day, this unhealthy obsession would lead them to their downfall. One of the regions that they foolishly led their wave of destruction upon was an ancient Galar region. One that was still in recovery of an ancient darkest day that plagued the region a few years prior. Not caring about this one bit, the ancient Krytonians began their vandalism upon the region. However, their hopes of an easy conquest were dashed, due to the region's well-known Dynamaxing phenomenon. The ancient Galar region had just mastered this new phenomenon, and thanks to it, they managed to hold back and push out the invaders from their region. Thanks to these terrific titans, their home was safe. Now, through all intensive purposes, things could have ended there. Unfortunately, they didn't. This ancient Galar region was a very prideful one, and wasn't willing to accept the fact that they were invaded so easily. And so began the long struggle of the Krytonium War, the ancient conflict between both the Cryoto region and the Galar region. A horrifically brutal ongoing struggle that would plague both these sides for over 100 years. Both sides had their fair share of casualties. However, the Cryoto region suffered the most. If the conflict were to continue for another few years, then the region would have been completely devastated, with both people and Pokémon unable to inhabit it. This urgency of the region's balance of life is where the gods acted. Now, what exactly happened next is hard to say, but it was believed that the Pokémon god himself, Arceus, came down from the heavens. He took pity on the lives that were being slaughtered due to the conflict, and, in order to end it once and for all, used his powers of creation to create 2 new legendary Pokémon, to end this war once and for all, and to help the region heal. One was created on the ocean bed with an Arbok's fangs, and the other was spawned from a dead tree with the accompanying light of the stars. Though both it and its people had changed a lot since this conflict began, peace had finally struck upon the Cryoto region. However, this war may have been gone, but not forgotten. The scars of this skirmish can still be seen, even till today. But what about the two legendary Pokémon? Well, no one truly knows what happened to them. However, should the region ever be in peril again, they— Well, look who it is! I wasn't expecting to see you again so soon, player. What brings you to a dusty old place like this? Learning about the region's past, I see. Well, good for you that you're into that stuff. Forgive me for interrupting you, my friend, but I was wondering if you've seen some people that call themselves Team Ragnarok. The pitiful excuse for a guild stole some of the professor's belongings. Messing with a member of my guild is one thing, but messing with the affairs of the leader of my guild? Now that's taking it too far. So, did you see them or not? You and Rachel? Oh, my dear. Is she alright? Oh, thank Arceus. That poor woman, she didn't deserve to encounter those thugs. I swear, when I get my hands on them, I'm going to make them pay. I can promise you that. Nobody messes with my girl and gets away with it. Pardon me, but are you from a Pokémon guild? Oh, thank goodness. We need your help. Team Ragnarok broke in here a couple of minutes ago. They stolen one of our artifacts, and not to mention some of our research, too. Ugh, what dreaded hooligans! Is there no end to their tyranny? Ugh, where did they go? I think some of us spotted them heading to Route 3. Side note, I meant to say Route 4 in this scene, not Route 3, Route 4. Anyway, moving on. They must be heading to the forest. If I were a criminal, I'd bet that's a good place to hide. I see. Thank you, kind sir. I'll make sure to try and get your belongings back to you. The Poképals Guild is willing to help out whenever we need to. Well, it was nice catching up to you while it lasted, player. But, unfortunately, I best be on my way. Don't you worry about Team Ragnarok. It's grown-up stuff dealing with hooligans like that. Leave those criminal scum to higher-ranking guild members. And you just continue with whatever it was you were doing before. See you around, player. Listen to the advice of a higher-ranking guild member, or completely ignore what he just said and go to the place he told us not to go to anyway. Wait, hang on. Thor technically said that we shouldn't go near Team Ragnarok. He didn't say anything about going to the forest ourselves just to look around for some new Pokémon. So, why don't we just do that then? Alright, if there's nothing else for us to do here, let's head on to Route 3 and see what else we can find. Also, we're not going to the forests just because Thor and Team Ragnarok might be there. We're going to see new Pokémon. Just thought I should make that clear. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the flowery paradise of Route 4. Although its main route is nothing but a straight line, there are plenty of barns, silos, and of course, yellow flowery fields that you can navigate through and explore, as well as one very interesting new Pokémon you can find around here. Our next regional variant is Crytonium Wooloo, the sheep Pokémon. Though very much similar to the Wooloo we know and love, these Pokémon distinguish themselves from regular Wooloo due to the special locks of wool on their heads, which actually works as additional appendages. They mainly use these appendages to punch their victims as well as browse with each other. Basically, think Twintel from ARMS, only as a sheep. On top of all that, they are remarkably aggressive, way more so than regular Wooloo, making herding them, especially for farmers, an absolute living nightmare.
I'm gonna punch you in the face!
Oh shoot, watch out!
Oh, the pain. Oh.
Oh dear, best not to get on these Pokemon's bad side. Anyway, besides them, you can also find Crytonium Centrit, Valerie, Chipbug, Warlisacoon, Cottony, Litleo, Hoppip, and Combee. While we're here, we can also do a handful of side quests involving helping the farmers. It can be as simple as picking some of these beautiful yellow flowers, or it can be as hard as roweling up those aggressive Wooloo.
What did you say?
Nothing, I said nothing.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching.
Let's just go to that forest that Thor mentioned before more Wooloo try to punch us in the face.
I'll end you!
Welp, here we are at last, Route 4's Nameless Forest. Well, if I was a criminal, I'd definitely hide in here. Not only is it filled to the brim with thick trees, but it's mostly filled to the brim with wild Pokemon that are itching for a fight. However, with so many here that we can find, that just means that this is a perfect place for early team building. So, let's get into that team building, shall we? And see what new Pokemon we can find. Meet the forest's top predator, Viscerine, the Wolverine Pokemon. Although it may seem cute and fluffy, that is a far understatement. Viscerine is a fierce hunter, often hunting alone or in packs, and the sharp retractable claws it has are no picnic either. They're able to easily slice through metal, so much so that people will often take them to scrapyards where they will be used to cut down the various metals that are being recycled. Looks like these regional variants just keep coming, don't they? This is Crytonium Meowth, the cat Pokemon. In this region, Meowth actually have an eternal flame sac, which make them fire type. This flame sac can also superheat their claws made of tungsten, allowing them to use them to slice through any form of metal with ease. Their paws are also heat resistant to help protect them from said claws. And with all these traits in mind, people actually used to use these Pokemon in their work as blacksmiths during the olden days, using their mastery over hot metal and fire to craft new tools and weaponry. On top of all of that, they too have a new special ability called Warm Up, which turns their normal moves into fire moves. You still not satisfied? Don't worry, these two are only a mere taste of the Pokemon that you can find here. And get ready, because this is a long list. Some of the other Pokemon you can find on this route are Kakuna, Petrabat, Chipbug, Warlisacoon, Lemmingboo, Pineco, Silcoon, Cascoon, Applin, Pikachu, Crytonium Centrit, Starly, Venipede, Hatenna, and... Well, that definitely is a lot of Pokemon. But, like I said before, it's a perfect opportunity... Wait, hold on. Is that Thor over there? Oh, and it looks like he's found Team Ragnarok as well. Alright, you scoundrels. I am going to give you one chance, just one, to hand back all the belongings that you stole, or else. Sorry, tough boy, but that isn't happening. We got a hold of all of this junk fair and square, and the man who hired us is paying us to give it to him. So why don't you be a good little boy and run off? Oh, don't mind him. He's probably just angry because we beat up his little girlfriend. You know, the little tyke in the dress that put up absolutely no fight whatsoever. I don't know why you guilds even bothered hiring such fluff like that. In Team Ragnarok, we wouldn't even bother with such weaklings. Don't you dare talk about my dear Rachel like that. She may be nowhere near the strongest member of my guild, but that doesn't change the fact that she is a lovely person, and probably a better Poké-Guild member than the two of you will ever be. So don't you dare scorch my dear, not when she isn't here to defend herself. Oh, so would you prefer that we find her and tell it to her face in person? No matter, we already have what we came here for, so I think we have no further business. Who would want a dinky old scroll like that anyway? And do you two even know what that dinky little thing is? Don't know, don't care. So long as it gives us money, what does it matter that they want it for? Oh, well, look what we have here. It appears that we've got some extra company. What? A player? What are you doing here? Keep away. These grunts are not to be messed with. Get out of here, right now. You're not ready to deal with them. Hey, I know you. You're that runt that beat my friend. Really? Well, if you've got the skills to beat one of our own, then I'd say he's as ready as he'll ever be. Ready or not, kid, here I come! Go, Petrabat! Oi, there's no need for that. Go, Viscerine! Sheesh, where did this kid come from? Damn it. Looks like this little tyke is stronger than he looks. Ugh. You think he's strong? Just wait until you see Pretty Boy over there. He managed to KO my entire team, and I didn't even land a single hit on him. Alright, we both beat you fair and square. Now hand over what you've stolen, or I'll make you. Sorry to break it to you, Pretty Boy, but we don't have any of the things that were stolen. Some other grunts took them. We were merely just a distraction. In which case, we've been given a really big job to do. A job that offered us so much money, we could buy out the Ether Foundation when we're done. So stay out of our way, if the two of you know what's good for you. Phew. Well, player, it looks like I owe you an apology. And what I said about you earlier was confirmed. If you're capable of showing those grunts who's boss, then I'm sure you'll probably be one of our guild's finest members. A shame we didn't get any of the stuff back, though. I wonder what job they were on about. Well, whatever this job may be, I shudder to think of the person who hired them to do all these horrible things to begin with. Hello there, gentlemen. Sorry, am I late to the party? I heard that Team Ragnarok was invited, and I just had to join. Ugh, you're too late, Festa. We've already taken care of Team Ragnarok. This job has been accepted by the Poképals Guild, so stay out of it. Besides, shouldn't your guild members be handling this? You're the guild master. So, just because I run the place doesn't mean I can't get a bit of fresh air now and again. Besides, I wasn't really minding much. I was just traveling on Route 4 on my evening walk from Finch City. You know, getting a bit of inspiration for tonight's performance. Then I caught wind of Team Ragnarok, and then I found you lot here. A guild member's gotta accept help whenever it's needed, right? Of course. So help yourself back to your hometown. This job is ours. Ah well, I know when I'm not needed. Take care, For. And as for you, player, if you're ever interested in changing guilds, just call up good old Festa. His guild is willing to accept anyone who's willing to have a good time. Later, pals. Ugh, that man. Sorry about my attitude, player. Just classic guild rivalries. Just because we guilds are obligated to help out the region whenever we can, that doesn't mean we can't butt heads occasionally. It's hard enough for two of us to share a small patch of land together. Actually, how about you go ahead and challenge Festa? You see, the thing about guild masters is that they can be challenged to battles. And if you beat them, you actually get a lot of guild points. They're a very quick way for you to rank up. Also, I would love to see the devastated look on his face if you beat him. That would be a joy to see. So if you ever feel like battling him, do it anytime you want. His guild is in Finch City, in the extra-large theme park. You can't miss it, especially at night. If you could show those Team Ragnarok grunts who's boss, I have no doubt that you'll be able to show him up too. I'll see you around, player. I have more things to attend to. So we can actually challenge guild masters now, huh? Interesting. Although, what exactly is Team Ragnarok up to? And who's this person that they're working for? I guess we'll just have to find all of that out next time, as our journey through Cryoto continues.